Oh my God, Greyson's around.
Hey, Nino.
How you doing? Long time no
I'm
chat.
alive. Yeah. I had a rough week last week. I was lost my voice for a few days.
Oh my God.
How you doing?
I am I'm okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just saw some weird shit. I want to see how things were. How are things? Are they good? Are they not good? Is
I think we're having some PR issues. I'm gonna be real. Yeah.
PR issues? The DOJ.
I mean, yeah. So you'll know by this point that the Marshal legislation failed. Apparently, there's an awful lot of like signs being put up around that during the voting period, blaming the DOJ, power hungry justices and stuff. There's PR issues, like misinformation and PR issues, because like that wasn't our legislation. Had no horse in the race at all, to be honest.
I'm gonna shoot straight. That entire thing was done wrong.
We've had that talk.
You saw my. Wait, did we talk about this? You and I?
No, but I saw your response.
I'm gonna shoot straight. I want to see the DOJ come out and say that should not have happened.
I mean, I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Nino. Right? He's a reality. Me, Sean, and Gates signed onto the legislation. Right? We felt like we had to because it was directly impacting the justice budget, the DOJ budget. Right? So, like, if we didn't sign off on it, then it's like somebody else spending somebody's money that they don't really have a right to, which I think would have led to like some constitutionality issues, right? So if we agreed with the legislation, which I think we did foundationally, we signed off on it. And because we'd signed off on it, when Murray stepped in to, oversee the procedure of it, it kind of like restricted us talking about it publicly because we become signatories on the legislation.
Yeah, but you're allowed to. Why wouldn't you be able to?
Conflict of interest at that point, right? Because we've signed off on it.
No,
like,
so I would. Oh, you mean internally about a decision that would come out of a ruling? Or whatever.
Internally, we talked about, right? Well, publicly, when we signed off on legislation individually, like so, me, Gates, and Sean had all signed off on the legislation, right? Publicly, to then step in and take over the procedure would have been.
I agree. Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you meant speaking about. I did tell Murray this, and I don't want you guys to take offense to what I'm asking for here, right?
No.
I'm gonna shoot like just straight. And I'm gonna tell Michael this too. Is I think it's gross what happened, and I'm gonna explain the position why. For me, it's we collectively fought against this sort of thing about a year ago. And after so much effort, we cannot be the ones that say, you know what, we're going to make an exception. And I don't think that was the intention. I don't think it was. For Murray was malicious by any means. I think it was a mistake. But for the sake of precedence, for anything going forward, it needs course correction. And the reason why, and I'll use an extreme, is it opens a door for, number one, I don't even think that's within the realm of the DOJ to reinterpret English words, right? It's at least in that manner, because then you can just be like, well, actually, these lines don't matter anymore. The spirit doesn't matter, right? I don't agree with any of the response that Michael gave, quite frankly. But
I didn't either.
I'm glad. I genuinely believe that, unfortunately, uncharacteristically, I think it was a bit emotionally driven. I suspect it was due to conversations I'm not aware of with Dark, and that became clear when I saw the Rissa impeachment shit.
I was at a legislative authority meeting where it got very tense between those two.
Yeah. And the problem is that should never cloud your judgment, because at the end of the day, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, and everything. Like, sorry, go ahead.
I think the issue is, and I don't know how you feel about this, I think some of it comes from it's being framed in a way that's, not quite what we expect, right? Arbitration should allow for some kind of, resolution to come from it, right? And I don't think it's that. I think basically the way it's legislated currently is it's just a public statement of platform before a public vote. Right. Then I think 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get a resolution out of arbitration the way it currently works. But I think as a public statement of platform before the election procedure, the same way, a presidential debate happens in the US, right? Nobody's debating to convince anybody of anything else, right? They're debating purely to get their platform out to the people.
Exactly.
I think
exactly
people
that.
need to understand that's what it is.
The spirit, which is documented, and once again, that documentation matters. And to say it doesn't means that every state official letter that we've cited doesn't matter either. It's it's like I said, I'm writing it off as it was an emotional response. It is what it is. It happens. But just to underline, number one, it was written for clear English, clear steps. The reason for the arbitration was, number one, exactly what you said. It's not for the contester. It's not for the proposer. Well, it is to a degree if they come to agreements, right? It's forcing a in-city conversation, right? And don't do it just on the docket. That's cringe. But number two, it's for the public so that they can be informed as to what they're voting for, even if it doesn't help the proposer, right? Is that when someone goes to the polls, they're like, hey, I know what I'm voting on because I heard their side and I heard their side. And what that does is it cuts one of the realities that we live in, which is propaganda, right? Understandably, everyone's going to have propaganda, right? Propaganda is just opinion, right? But if someone hears my reasons and then hears the contester's reasons, at least they're now going and saying, you know what? I understand what I'm voting on. And I was agreement with Nino, but you know what? Actually, after hearing the other concerns and hearing it, I actually am going to vote the other way. And that's good. That's healthy. That's democracy.
It is. And I think even with the point where Michael's like, hey, look, I'm not showing up. Well, hey, look, me, Angela Adams, Gates, Junior,
exactly.
John, we could have all shown up and argued why we signed off on it, right?
Precisely.
There's plenty of other people that's the way I thought about it. I don't know why it went down the way it did. I don't know what Murray, but that's his choice. I guess as the guy who stepped in.
I'm gonna have another chat with him. I think I'm gonna try to be reasonable. And you know him better than I do, which is part of this. Is I can do it formally. And mind you, I gave Michael a notice before I even posted. I said, listen, what the fuck is going on with this? I don't want to go and undermine you because I recognize how much political, sway I've got, right? And he sort of said one thing and then posted something else, right? And I don't know where any of that's coming from, and I'm only putting this as a baseline, right? But in the reason I did that and the reason I would like to avoid formally going down this route. The last thing I want to, because think about it, right? I'd have to ACR, I'd have to this. It's a bunch of unnecessary stuff. We know what the climate is. We know what people look at it as opposed to, hey, can we agree informally that this isn't a thing and find a resolution that doesn't require bats and batons. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm gonna be real. I feel like if
do you think that's
planning,
a conversation I should have with him? Yeah,
I'd have a conversation with him 100%.
Okay.
I think he's a reasonable human being. I think it probably comes down to a much more basic fucking the mayor doesn't even want to fucking show up for this. Why bother? I think it probably just came down to that, right? I think that's probably, it's not ideal. I think it shows a misunderstanding, but I think that's probably all it was.
I had Junior's dealing with a similar situation, and I tried to lend him this advice. Is there's a lot of work that neither saw. Michael was side by side with me on more than what Junior was. However, there's something that they didn't see actively, right? Which was, I would always garner support and have these conversations before hitting the gavel, right? VAF legislation. Look at those numbers compared to this one. Now, you could say VAF is this and that. Based on the numbers on there, I don't even think people knew that was up for vote. And it's not because there wasn't a state announcement doesn't do shit. What needed to happen is the city needs to, hey, I want to talk to you about the future of the marshals. Here's what we're looking to do. Here's why we're doing
I'm talking about it right now. What I'm talking about right now with the justices, like I'm having a meeting with all of us. We're all here, all four of us. I'm trying to. I want to bring back town halls, like just open forum. Let's start talking about the shit we're pushing. Fight against the narratives that are being pushed against us. Like,
I'm gonna caution you on the verbiage. I wouldn't fight against the narrative. You'll never win that. I'll never win it. You'll never win. But what you can do is that narrative will change with inclusivity and transparency and openness. And once again, pointing at that Marshall legislation, when I say what are the faults, number one is there wasn't that, right? People just saw because there was no, which was what the arbitration got put in place because we had 6 pieces of legislation contested, and it was labeled as like tax shit, and we had to work our ass off for it, right? It prevents that. It says, here's what's being presented. The second, like as we mentioned, right, you need to consult in advance, and that includes having to find out what the alternative is that the marshals want, even if you hate them. I have more problems with Dark than anybody. I can promise you that. But I would have had to have sat him down and be like, I need your alternatives. The third that I'd like to point out here is that by doing the 1 and doing the 2, you have the actual population come and vote. Because those numbers look like PD vote, and brother, it's like a third of what it should have been.
I know. I mean,
it was like, what was it, like 200 votes maybe out of
it was
the 550?
It was 100 against and 64, so it was like 160. Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, and like you said, the narrative, right? That's an easy narrative, right? DOJ bad is the easiest narrative you can push.
I had a meeting with Doc before that legislative authority meeting, and and one directly after when so the legislation went up at the end of the legislative authority meeting. Doc read it and called me, and basically his take on what he wanted is he wanted a clause in there that basically said felons aren't applicable, which I think kind of redundant, but that would have made him feel better.
Agreed. And it's and that could have changed everything, right?
Yeah, and then a couple of other little things that I think I think I'd kind of talked him around on, but I think if he got some consolidation on just some little points that he wanted clarifying on, I think he probably would have seen sense. It's like, I mean, I tried to explain to him, like it's not a perfect solution, but it's a solution. You've been without a fucking directive for 6 months. It's
agreed.
Like, I don't know. I don't think Doc's always unreasonable, but sometimes he feels aggrieved about things he shouldn't,
Dark is not an intelligent or productive individual. But at the reality is he is in a position where that can be recognized, and you still look at it and say, here's what you're looking for. Okay, let's see where we can find a middle ground. Because fuck his feelings, fuck everything else. Like, I'm just being raw about this. It's about getting him to agree to sign, right, or to be on board.
Yeah. I mean, like even I had problems with the legislation, right? At first, it was about percentages, and I was like, no, let's just do a flat fee every month where they've got a budget they can work with and see. I think that worked better, right? So now, now the marshals don't have a director, they have no direction, and they're not getting the budget that we tried to legislate for them. Like, they're in a worse position now than they were without it.
So what the marshals don't have a problem with is money. They have what they need. They have 3, right? They don't actually need too much money. They need personnel, which they're unable to get because they have no effective director. If they had an effective if Dark was effective, he'd have people motivated to apply. That fundamentally, he doesn't. It is what it is.
Yes.
I don't want to turn this on to Dark. Let me flip it a little bit, because to Dark's defense, he actually is a victim in all this. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
A victim in the sense that he, as the poster, did not have an opportunity to actually display itself. Yeah, the vote went a certain way, but that doesn't prevent him from still having been the victim, right? Like, you know what I mean? Outcome was in his favor, but he's still victimized by not being given his due course. There's actually some other point I want to bring up.
Okay.
Is I actually think that was fraud. His posting.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a couple things. The people's petition, even though you know, Michael said it's citizen, no, it's people's petition. That is anybody, right?
Yeah.
But some of the things that were written in there, if true, that would be fraud, right? If you are under the impression that you have to present yourself as a fucking citizen and you're doing this, it brings up a lot of questions. Not that any of that matters. My point is that this is kind of what I came back to. You know what I mean, Grayson? I'm like reading through this shit. I'm just like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean?
I didn't agree with a lot of Michael's response. I'm gonna be real. Like foundationally, but like I underwrote 90% of that legislation, so you know I know what it said and what the intent was. You know, and I don't think it's as restrictive in who can file as he's making it out to be. I think he's.
I think it was Dark and Michael was. I get it. I've been there. It's probably, and that's why I'm not holding too much weight against Michael on this. Is they had a heated conversation. They got the impeachment shit. Dark is underhanded. Michael knows this, right? This isn't his first rodeo, and this is him saying, "I'm going to unleash on Dark." Unfortunately, what Michael may not know, because he hasn't been around as long as you and I have, right? Most people don't, is even if you're right, people will see that energy as being in the wrong, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, unless it's done in person and they hear what the other person says, then you can balk. But if you stop balking and they didn't hear what Dark was whispering, they're just gonna be like, what the fuck? This is unhinged, right? But anyways, you know, I think there still is a path forward, and I hope you guys do not lose sight of that, right?
Oh, God,
I think what this needs is a version 2, but done right.
I mean, that's it, right? Like we get a 7-day cooldown because there needs to be a 7-day cooldown, and I agree with that. I think that's like healthy, but I think it provides us with the opportunity to do things like, you know, arrange some town halls and have an open discussion with the people. I think that would like really help.
You know what the first question that should be asked is? And I'm going to be clear here. I believe the marshals need to exist. I believe the marshals lost sight early on, and they're even more in the trenches. Like Gunner, good, decent guy, but if I'm going to shoot straight, Opal does most of the work. Obvious. Well, yeah, he's a good guy, but like, look, I don't want to take away from Gunner, but let's be real. His success is a large part because of Opal and Doc and company, right? And this is, I'm more pointing that out to indicate how down bad the marshals are. And until something improves, what the fuck are they? Like this whole thing with the properties and like they should have been leading the charge on the Elena thing. This whole thing with the properties in Blaine County, the marshals should be the ones leading the forefront. When 100%. The mayor's office has to do that work, there's an issue. What are they for? What are they going to fucking chase the faceless to the end of eternity?
But here's the thing, right? It's a multitude of things, right? I asked Junior and Michael this. When was the last time the marshals offered those two guys protection? And when was the last time they offered you protection in your year as the mayor?
Barrett.
Literally part of the
under
job,
Barrett.
Right?
And he's, you know, Gunner does. You know, I fuck with Gunner. The Gunner I think is great, but he's, you know, he's doing the best that he can, realistically.
Yeah, and he's directly into Doc, right? So it's Doc's vision, it's Doc's pushing. But then there's the other shit, right? It's like literally in the past 3 months, we had the Elena situation. That was purely a Marshall thing, and it should have been a Marshall thing, and it wasn't. And we also had Moose Knuckles, which should have been a Marshall thing. Like we had a corrupt member of the judiciary and a corrupt mayor, and they were nowhere to be seen. Like, it's wild. It's dereliction. It's foul. It's not good. And I believe in the marshals. I believe the marshals should exist, but they should exist to do the things they need to do. Like, and if they can't do those things, we need to figure out why.
Fundamentally is why I supported the legislative authorities putting someone in place, because there is no current function to do otherwise.
Here's what I said, and I said this directly to Michael, because Michael brought this up, and I'm like, look, you're aware there was a conversation with the governor, and he put forward a legislative proposal, and we worked on it together, but it's been quiet for 3 months, right? And I said, look, let's put this in place.
Wait, you guys put a proposal forward?
There was discussions with the governor like 3 months ago, where he wanted the thing with weighted voting and all this stuff, right? We worked with him on it. We worked with them on it, right? But then it went quiet for like 3-4 months, right? Like just dead quiet, like no response.
Did the DOJ look for a follow-up?
Yes. I know Sean reached out a couple of times and didn't get one. So we were just like, okay, it's quiet now. It's quiet. Okay, we'll find a solution now. But like, if
how many times did he follow up? Because
a couple, at least a couple, I think.
I'm gonna say probably not enough.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not trying to dog on Sean here, just to be clear, but I imagine the governor's inbox is pretty full.
I imagine. But like, he was the thing, right? As far as I was concerned, let's find a solution for now. And if the governor's like grand vision comes in, like, even if we put it in today, if the legislation passed and it went live today, right? If the governor showed up tomorrow and it's like, my shit's ready to go, cool, let's run that instead. Like, it one does not preclude the other, right? But like, at least we'd have had a makeshift, like, something working today while we can have something working today. That was my take on it.
Yeah, no, like, I'm with you there. It's been 6 months.
It's been
we're
too long.
in desperate need of that sort of faculty, or alternatively, it becomes a concern of marshals are it's not a police department, right? And so it needs a different breed of individuals. And so even then, which is why I don't think the PD needs to have anywhere near an equal say either, right?
No,
because they're a bunch of pink changers for the most part, and I am just shooting straight. You're gonna end up with like a scuffed troopers, pretty much, right?
Yes.
That doesn't actually that might end up doing less than what they got today, right?
Yeah, because here's the thing, and this was the thing when I was a marshal, right? There were people in there who wanted to focus very, very heavily on specific things, right? So we had like Leonova who wanted to do drug operations, or there were people in there who were like, oh, I want to do patrolling. But like, that's not the point. It's not the point. It was never the point. Like, if you've got downtime and you can attach and help, with manpower to something, like help, provide manpowers or whatever for raids, that's one thing, right? But like, actively being on patrol doing fucking traffic stops with all the power of a marshal is the most brain dead thing I've ever heard. Like, I don't understand it. It's not why I wanted to be a marshal.
It's why Barrett would have made a great director. I think he may not have been perfect. He's got his flaws. But one or two incidents, like, the whole, I forgot what it was, like him and Dark running like someone's like I don't remember. There was some shit he did. Like, it's fun. Yeah. I thought it was funny, to be honest. But like, those little blemishes are not. But his production as a whole had been amazing, right? The big thing is he brought people there, right? He had aura, right? If you ain't got aura, you ain't got nothing, right?
Like, me and you have both got very different, like similar paths with Angel, right? But like, she had the same thing. She could draw people to her and force forward a narrative and a vision.
No,
and like, that's important. It's important. Like, it didn't take long for me to be like, oh, I don't want to be doing this. This is not my vision.
Right.
Like, I was stood in the hallway once with every marshal on duty, and she told us all, yeah, we don't need to be neutral. And I was like, well, I think I'm kind of out here. Like, it happened very early with me. But like, again, you need vision. You need a leader. You need somebody who can draw people to them, sell the project. And, I don't think Doc's that person. Doc's failed.
No. I think there is another slice here too, right? Which is not even draw people, but draw the right people. Because if we're going to be honest, it's not the kind of line of work most people that when they think law enforcement, they're into. Because like you said, it's going to be paperwork, surveillance, probably sitting in shit, right?
The day I was hired, there was 3 of us interviewing, 3 of us got hired, right? It was me, Richard Dark, and Albert King. Right, so you like I was there to do prosecutorial work do the law stuff, do investigations. Dark was obviously there to do investigations, and Albert King is just a fantastic officer, right? Like just like one of the best. And like I was excited. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Turned out it wasn't for King because King wanted to patrol more. You know, I eventually came back to what I actually want to do, and you know, Dark's still there, but like. I think the vision's got to be the best of the best in all-star cast. Like, it has to be. If it's not that, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yep, 100%.
I'm gonna get back to my meeting, Nino. If you need anything, just reach out, right? But like, let's touch base on like trying to get together some kind of town hall later in the week.
I'm certainly down.
Because I think just like some open, honest communication with the people's probably what's missing right now.
I don't want to see San Andreas further deteriorate into something where people are just unlocking shit and shooting each other. You know what I mean?
No,
and
I'd rather us like, you know, be open, honest, and transparent. Like, it's what it's meant to be. It's what I want it to be. And if in the position I'm in right now and with the influence you have right now, we can't get it there, then
I think we can. Actually, there's another point that I want to touch on in this space.
Okay.
The other thing that kind of popped up, and this is very informal, right? I haven't really made a position, right? This is just off the cuffs, how what I'm processing through my head.
Okay.
There's an assload of fucking docket cases. Why the fuck are people not able to schedule anything? Like, I'm gonna urge, can we please stop scheduling like that on the docket? I know it's how it used to work, but why don't we get a scheduling app? Yeah. Like I'm gonna shoot straight. If a court case cannot happen within 30 days, it doesn't matter. There is 90% of the times the victim in these things is the victim, right? Because PD, and I'm going to be very blunt about this. People are going to do the opposite of conveniencing themselves, showing up at something where they're put on the hot seat. And I refuse to believe that some of these docket cases I'm looking at is because people needed to go on vacation or people couldn't make it this day or that. No, they're literally finding excuses not to show up because after a month, there's an issue, right? No, it's your fucking responsibility. So number one,
I've been floating an idea of a contempt-like charge called perverting the course of justice.
Yes.
And that's, you know, kind of the shit where, like, you know, if someone's just skipping, right? They're just actively trying to avoid delay, refusing to show up, delaying with, availability that
Mommy,
factual,
I'm sick. I'm sick today. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fuck out of here. Get up and fucking clean your fucking room.
No, I'm over it. It's miserable. It's one of the things we're talking about internally a lot right now because we need to. Because it's just getting blogged and clogged up and...
I would prescribe that. I like your idea. I think that it being staged is good too, because one big hammer is going to be,
I know. Yeah.
It's going to be bad. However, if it becomes immediate fines to say, if it's law enforcement, directly to the police department, you're now fined this. Forget the individual. Let the PD handle it themselves, right? You don't want to send your people. You're not putting discipline. I don't give a fuck, right? No, your PD's getting fined. And so it becomes a rolling, increasing fine, and then a certain stop where it becomes immediate ruling in favor of the victim.
The other side. You just whichever side's being an arsehole, the other side wins. Like,
yes. The second... recommendation is that I think it's crazy that one of your jobs as a judge is to schedule. I think that's insane. You guys are not secretaries. We live in 2025. There are a bajillion. He's dead.
Hi, Nino. I'm running around the pool. I fell in.
Oh, I got you. There are a bajillion apps on the internet. If necessary, I can talk to my contacts as well.
Yes.
To help push it forward. But because I'm a big court is, I was here day one for the DOJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big passion of mine.
It's always been a nightmare.
It's a differentiator between our city and other cities, right? It is.
Yeah.
It's what
I think it
scheduling
stopped at one point, Nino.
Yeah.
I think it stopped at one point because literally we were hiring people externally to schedule, right? We'd hire people to be judicial assistants to schedule. And then officers started prosecuting because they didn't like their scheduling and claiming there was a conflict of interest and it was corruption that certain people were scheduling for. It became something people wanted to legislate against us doing. It became a shit show very quickly.
Wait, what were they doing?
So there was a time, not before Sanguine, but before the financial collapse before that, right? Where we were hiring people like judicial assistants to schedule our cases. Happened with me, and officers started like claiming there was a conflict of interest with certain people scheduling for people, even though it was, scheduling, nothing else. And, they started like, putting in like bar complaints and like trying to legislate against us. It was
No, fuck out of here.
Toxic, really.
It's this shit is fucking boring.
I know.
I think want to this is clearly a problem. This isn't the first time it's been an issue. This has been an issue for years.
Yeah.
I think it should be court case. You're mandated within 48 hours to enter in your availability on the app, and the app shows everyone's availability, and boom, it gets scheduled. If you don't show up, that sucks, right? Like, sucks to be you.
I don't hate it. Like, I'm totally willing to put it forward.
We have depositions, right, that are a thing. Which, by the way, if everyone's scheduled, right, hypothetically, let's use Frost. If Frost gave his availability from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., right?
Yeah.
5 days a week. And, everyone else is, the court case is on Saturday, right?
Yeah, he's just DJing one night.
Not that. It's just that, you know what? Everyone else is lined up here. He's kind of a secondary witness, whatever, right? Well, because that availability is displayed and the availability of the lawyers, well, guess what? On Wednesday, that means he's available for us to click this and put him on deposition, right? There it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now everything you need is literally right there, right? Like, the fat needs to be removed. I'm gonna get to a third point, and I know there's a lot, but there's a shit that I want to put forward a bit. This whole shit with the properties happening right now with Blaine County, this shit is fucking ridiculous. I think that it's a lot of games being played, and it's unfortunate that it's going to be mounds of legal litigation that could take forever. And some of these things may be quicker to actually just forward to the state. What's going on with this? Like, whose was it? Boom, boom, bada bing, bada boom. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
And the reason I bring that up, right, is this playing of games with properties and assets and this and that, and knowing that the outcome could be 6 weeks. That's 6 weeks that people in the city that don't have an opportunity, need a place to do business, are now cooked, right? And I could give a fuck about some random onesie twosie individual.
I know how complicated it's gonna be. The reality is, we try to get them all those cases taken by judges because we know someone's gonna fucking appeal, so we know there's gonna be a fucking justice at the end waiting for it, right? Which means it's probably gonna have to go like it's endless. It's just fucking endless, dude. That's why I'm not on them. I'm not on them right now because, like, if I was and they get appealed, who's taking them then, right? because like this round probably won't be the last. We both know it, dude. Like we both know somebody will peel this shit.
That's
a state step and wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I don't disagree.
Because the thing is, this isn't interesting. This is just obstructionist.
It becomes that point, right? It becomes that point once because you go through the 6 weeks to get these done, and then there's going to be another 2 weeks to get me in court. Like, and before you know it, you've lost 2 months. Like,
yeah,
and like they've already been, hoodwinked and purloined for somebody else's use for too long already, right?
And then this thing happens. It's playing games. I don't.
Yeah.
I did advise that Junior speak with Lexi as one of them and work with her to find a better resolution. But it's the same thing about this. Why I mentioned, when I talked to Faulkner about it directly, is that some of these, like, not everything needs court, right? And some things are just a little too. If certain things are a little too cringe, it should just go right to the state officials and see if they respond. Because this is a matter of like, brother, like what happened with this is like, is FOIA, is it here? Court order, done and done, right?
But I mean, this is the other issue too, right? Because like, and you know this as well as I do. 30-day statute of limitations, and that's going to get argued to death in all of these fucking cases.
I disagree. Well, they can argue it. It wouldn't hold any weight.
I think there's delayed discovery here, right? But I think that,
not I wouldn't even say delayed discovery. It's that the grievance started at the point of the so I use the example of this. It's that if I gave Junior Huntley a vehicle and we assume verbal agreements are a thing, and in said verbal agreement, it was like, hey, give this back when I'm back from vacation. 40 days go by. He agrees that, that's what was supposed to happen, right? But on that 40th day, he can't just be like, oh, it's out of statute. You gave me 40 days ago. No, it's because I'm asking for it today. So the grievance starts today, right?
Yes. I can accept that, right? I can accept that. I think that's an argument. I think what will happen here is, though, and I think the issue is like some of those properties were transferred. They've been transferred multiple times at this point, right? They were transferred, from say Mumbles, and then it skipped Princess, and then Princess's second term after her intermediary term.
While accurate, this falls into. I actually think this is pretty simple. This has been argued in the past before, but commonly what occurs is if I have something that does not belong to me, and then I sell it to you. And then you sell it to, let's say, Maxwell. And now the original owner, let's say Turner, comes and proves that I stole it or I sold it without authority. It would be taken from Maxwell and given back. And now Maxwell has to sue you. And me, and you might need to sue me. But
this is what I'm saying, though, right? It's like it's just gonna be an endless fucking cycle of court cases. It's gonna be
brother, those other ones aren't gonna happen because this is like they know they're fucking playing games, right? No one accepted that thinking like it was a present, right? Like, and if they say it, it's fucking copium and it's like gaslighting, like
I would not object to state interference to avoid it ultimately.
It's a tough one. I used an example. I said, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, it's like if I decided that, hey, guess what? I'm keeping the court center. I got the key. It's got my government imprint on it. Best of luck. I could do that. I could go and do that, but hell fucking no. What the fuck? Like, I know fundamentally why, you get what I'm saying. It's like,
oh, I get it. Yeah. I understand. I understand the argument. I just think it's bullshit.
Okay. Anyways, hey, this is a good conversation. I was going to have this with Michael. I needed to get some of this off my chest. I'll have a chat with him. Anytime. At the end of the day, look, not all is lost. I think, in my opinion, the biggest lesson out of all this is more communication with each other, right? Even if we fucking deadly oppose the shit out of the other, that I don't even mean privately. Fucking make that shit public. You know what I mean?
No, I'm dying. Like, dude, I'll stand on business and argue anything. It's what I like doing. It's why I made a career as a lawyer. All right. So I'm done.
All right, easy.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, Nino.
You take care. Bye.
Bye.